can just record those couple lines at the end.
Sounds
and then
good.
you can cut and splice. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you count down. We're live.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to our weekly podcast, The Future is Here, where we focus on technology topics that affect classroom teachers. Today our focus is on the rolling out... I just found a typo!
Yep.
Mary, how is that not noticed the 25 times I've read this?
I don't know. All right.
Okay.
Reset. Reset. Okay. Game face.
Okay.
All right. You're not drinking in between takes, are you?
My dad brought me some 127 proof rum from Jamaica. It smells like tequila and tastes like tequila.
Oh, my goodness.
I think they mislabeled, but I'm not drinking it yet. I'm hoping to as soon as we're done here.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
here we
Let's
are.
do it then.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to our weekly podcast, The Future is Here, where we focus on technology topics that affect classroom teachers. Today our focus is on rolling out one-to-one devices in the classroom. We will be talking about the pros, the cons, and relating wisdom from those who've been there. Our regular guest hosts, high school teachers Brent Willett and Audra Lind, are here to offer their personal experiences along with what the experts are saying.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
So let's start with the benefits of having one-to-one devices in the classroom. Audra, I believe you have everything we need to know for that.
Well, I know I've mentioned before that my district is behind the technology curve. We're exploring options right now, but money is a big factor. To convince our district to move ahead with one-to-one, we need to have some pretty compelling pros.
Isn't that the truth? The root of all things is money.
Well, one great resource is a white paper written by Carl Hooker, Director of Innovation and Digital Learning in Eanes, Texas, and founder of iPad Palooza. His paper tracked their district one-to-one initiative for 3 years. Now, even though data was local, it produced some encouraging findings.
Don't you think his local information would be somewhat typical of our education system?
Possibly. He did outline some pretty universal benefits for students. The first was engagement.
I know in my classroom engagement plays a very big role. If they're bored, they misbehave.
Yep. Hooker found that students reported feeling more engaged in class when iPads are used, almost 80 to 87%. And they found that distraction, which had initially been a major student concern, decreased by 20%. Also, 100% of students reported an increase in communication between teacher and student. Creativity increased, student-produced work increased by 11.8%. And when asked if having iPads enhanced their learning experience, about 88% of students responded with yes to absolutely yes.
Wow, those statistics are amazing. I think most people believe having devices in the classroom is a major distraction.
I think that can be said of anything, but solid classroom management goes a long ways.
Absolutely. With one-to-one, students produced wide-ranging digital artifacts, blogs, online portfolios, videos, and even coding in the classroom. These activities hadn't been possible before.
How do they handle the students' increased web activity? Isn't that an issue?
Actually, an added benefit was that these activities opened the door to conversations about cultivating positive digital footprints. You know, college and job recruiters are using social media and Google to research applicants, so having the everyday discussion was highly beneficial to students.
I suppose, like anything else, it's about using explicit instruction. So what's the impact on teachers?
Teachers appreciate the one-to-one devices too. They make assessment easier, offer real-time feedback, and improve communication. And, like students, teachers reported decreased distractions and less behavior issues than in traditional classrooms.
I worry how parents will react to their students having a device of their own, especially since the students will be taking them home next year at my school.
Well, unexpected benefits of the one-to-one rollout was parental involvement. The district anticipated some training, but found that one-to-one devices increase parental awareness of their kids' digital lives. Driven by demand, the district now offers digital safety night, workshops, resources, and even full semester-long courses.
Seems like it provided the expected positive outcomes, but isn't there two sides to every coin? What about the cons? Brent, I believe you investigated that for us?
Right. Not all the research is in favor of one-to-one initiatives. There are some drawbacks and concerns. The biggest is money. There are countless districts in the U.S. that have budget concerns. Finding the money to purchase a new device for every student in these districts seems unrealistic. And once those devices have been purchased, there's also the cost to maintain them.
Again with the money.
Hey, if the district provides the device, the district is responsible for fixing them when they break. Another cost that must be considered is infrastructure. In order to be able to support every student using a digital device, the district needs to have the infrastructure to support it.
So what sort of cost is associated with infrastructure? Don't most schools already have infrastructure?
Yeah, but the added devices use additional bandwidth. Most schools do not have enough to support it. This can require an entire reconfiguration.
Exactly. And on top of that, you have to keep training in mind. Not all teachers will possess the skills and knowledge necessary to use, not to mention teach with, the devices. Training requires time and money.
The National Center for Education Statistics says that the average age of an elementary school teacher in the United States is 42.4 years old. These teachers have not grown up in the technology age, and unless they have a strong desire to learn, they're likely to only have user-level knowledge. This can't be ignored.
Well, it's more of a mindset than an age.
I noticed you came back around to money again, Brent. Not surprising.
Well, in his defense, there have been some huge rollouts, some more successful than others. Los Angeles spent $1 billion purchasing an iPad for every student, and it failed.
Failed? Seems like if you have that kind of money, you can make anything work.
Yes, failed. FBI investigation, they're being audited, it's a mess. When doing a rollout, whether you're in tiny rural Minnesota or big time LA, you have to look at the big picture, the hows and whys of digital rollouts.
There are definitely concerns that are not related to money as well. Mark Pullen authored an article titled Pros and Cons, Is Elementary Too Early for One-to-One Technology? The first of which is the importance of reading an actual book. As he puts it, there's something important for young students about holding a physical book and understanding the basic essence of reading from left to right, top to bottom, and page to page.
That is important. I have fifth graders who can't figure out that the holes on the loose leaf paper go on the left.
Another concern is lack of movement. With information at students' fingertips comes reduced need for movement. And with obesity rates already a big concern, reducing the need for more movement is alarming. And last but not least, using one-to-one technology could lead to a reduced use of concrete manipulatives. As Pullen states, in math, children learn one-to-one correspondence through the use of physical manipulatives, including fingers. Some one-to-one detractors fear the loss of such manipulatives as a result of one-to-one technology being implemented. Clearly, before starting a one-to-one initiative, the pros and cons need to be thought out and addressed.
Clearly. And it's important to remember that devices don't replace everything in the classroom.
In my classroom, students have floor seating that's entirely mobile, so I'm not sure that I agree with the movement issue.
Well, fair enough. Hey, I've never worked through an actual rollout. Jen, your district has already embarked on this, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. We're in what we call year zero. We have a budget and a rollout plan, but are working through the details.
So what have you learned in year zero?
I've learned that every time you think you have a comprehensive list of concerns, you find out you have more to add.
What's on the list?
Well, money was at the top, but we received a referendum. We will be one-to-one for all of our students from grade 4 to 12th next year. We had to consider everything from type of device, charging stations, repairs, integration into current curriculum, and professional development.
Right. Inventory where you were, draft a strategic plan for where you want to go. Were teachers involved in your process?
We have a technology team made up of one teacher from every grade level. We meet about every 2 weeks. It's interesting to see how some of the younger teachers are the ones pushing back more than the older ones like me. Teacher buy-in is definitely a hurdle.
Well, being the average teacher age of 42.4 myself, I could see that.
Well, I'm 45 and I'm in. So what else has your teacher advisory group determined needs to be on your list?
Logistical things play a big topic. What do you do if a student shows up with a dead Chromebook? How do you handle students surfing the web?
Well, right. How do you track which students are doing what on the network?
Well, we're a Google Apps for Education school, so we use Chromebooks, which require them to log into their account. Then they're using the internet through our pre-established filters. We control it that way.
Right. And what about the network itself? How did you plan for the increased traffic, or was your school ready for it?
Referendum money paid for a complete overhaul. It was really expensive, but now we have Wi-Fi hotspots in every classroom.
My district applied for federal E-rate funding, which is essential in rural Minnesota.
I'm not familiar with that. Maybe on a future podcast we can cover how to get funding, especially since money is obviously an issue for everyone.
The biggest discussion our team has had is many teachers have no idea how to use technology and are now expected to integrate it into their daily lessons. Without guidance, many teachers default to simply having their students type instead of write.
So true. We've all heard the story of the class that gets iPads and they end up collecting dust. Or worse yet, they're used for word processing.
Don't forget academic games and drill and practice sites. Without training or on integration, we're really just modernizing typing.
I suppose the golden rule would be to remember why you're adding one-to-one devices in the first place.
Definitely. The goal is to enhance learning and increase 21st century skills. Many districts jump at the chance to add technology but fail to provide the professional development. Teachers who are not tech savvy struggle with the added burden of a classroom full of Chromebooks. They won't know how to integrate them into their lessons effectively. They fall back on having students create slideshows to present research. While Bloom's taxonomy does place create at the top of the list, aren't we simply teaching them how to create digital scrapbooks?
Yeah, so how do we get them there?
Training, training, and more training. Wow, we've covered a lot of information today. We certainly could dig deeper, maybe on a future segment.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining the weekly podcast. The future is here. See you next week.
Thanks.
We're like 6 seconds over.
I know. You know what? I think we could cut that.
I don't think I said it.
You did. Maybe you
Did I?
didn't.
Okay.
Oh, maybe you didn't.
There is something else we can cut to. This right here, or worse, they're used for word processing. We said that twice already. Like, we say that like 3 or 4 times. Word
Yeah. Good. Okay. So we've got that.
No idea.
We have a couple places where I marked lines.
And I reworded this whole, like, we're a Google, so I'm going to do this here. We're a, oops, sorry, Google Apps for Ed School. So, the students there you go. That got rid of 2 whole sentences.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Do you think we have to go top to bottom?
No, wait. Well, being considered.
Kind of do. We have stuff kind of scattered all the way through.
What do you mean?
I mean,
we have to do it again.
Well, we have to go and we do have to record a couple lines like the before and after. Looking for them. Page. The bottom of page, I think it's 2.
Yep.
I screwed that one up. I don't remember what I did, but I remember I screwed it up. And then there's another one, the logistical one about the dead Chromebook. That one, and
yeah, where's that at?
It's almost towards the end. And then the biggest discussion our team has is teacher training. So if we actually did the last page.
Like start and then re-record just that last part?
Yeah. I mean, before that we have I have a little blip, but it's probably okay.
I think it's probably okay. I didn't hear anything major. We started at the end, we were like a little scattered a little. I felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't anything major.
And I think at one point you were trying to type a note when you were supposed to be talking.
Me?
I was like, she's marking it and she's supposed to be talking. Like I had time to think that.
I don't know. I didn't know that I missed anything. But we should start.
This is like a blip. You know, those like half seconds feel like a minute when they're, you know.
Should we start with?
Here.
What if we start with your line? We have a technology team made up of a teacher from every grade level.
And I actually didn't even say that the way we have a tech team.
It worked though because Brent like just chimed right in. Like it was totally conversational.
Yeah. From each grade level is what I said. And I don't think it matters how often we meet. Which every time I say that, I think we should get rid of it, and then I don't get rid of it. So
you're editing while you're recording.
I am. I am
judging.
editing. I am. I'm thinking, how can this be better? You should hear how long it takes me to record my voicemail message. I'm just saying. You should see that I write
Instead
a
of saying
script.
teacher advisory group, I'm going to say tech. So what else has your
Tech
team?
group. Tech group. Just say tech
Or
group.
if I say
team.
So what else has your team determined needs to be on your list? Let's see. Can I just say what else have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
That works because I'm on the team. I am the team, bitches. Oh, wait, we're live. Dang it!
Oh!
Dang it, I gotta quit doing that.
So what else
Come here.
is on your list? How about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
What are you doing? Why are you tabbing that over?
Because that helps me the way I'm going to read it.
Oh.
The next line you say is logistics things are a big topic. You should fix that. Logistics things?
Logistics are a big topic.
That's what I meant. You flustered me, so I blame you.
Okay. I'll accept it. What do you do if students are there? Can you just say logistics are big?
Logistics are big, yeah. There you go. Logistics are a logistical nightmare.
Yes, that is the truth.
I used the word logistics in a meeting last week. I said something about something being a logistical nightmare, and one of the people in my meeting looked at me like she had no idea what that meant. And then I was like, oh, I'm showing my age.
It's not that old of a word.
All right. Hey, are we, we're probably recording too long. I don't know how long your YouTube
8
videos.
hours.
No, YouTube. How long can your YouTube videos be?
I don't know. I think using this doesn't have that option. All right, so where are we going to start?
We were going to start from, it's a gen line. I had my...
We have a tech team. Is that it?
Yes. Yes, your cursor's there.
Yep.
Okay, so, all right.
Okay, so I'm going to hit the start button. Does it even matter, though?
Nope. Well, it does, because it needs to be, I would say, like, under 2 minutes is this part of it, right? I don't know.
Exactly.
One.
We need to have pressure. Okay.
I think we can do this part in a minute.
Okay,
honestly.
let's do it then. So
Okay.
time is for a minute.
Okay, here, but don't stare at the clock and get distracted.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I didn't last time.
Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1.
We have a tech team with one teacher from each grade level. It's interesting to see how some of the younger teachers are pushing back more than the older ones like me. Teacher buy-in is definitely a hurdle.
Well, being the average teacher age of 42.4 myself, I could see that.
Well, I'm 45 and I'm in. So what else is on your list?
Logistics are big. What do you do if a student shows up with a dead Chromebook? How do you handle a student who's off task or surfing the web?
Right. How do you track which students are doing what on the network?
We're a Google Apps for Ed school, so students have to log in to access their device. This links them to the internet through our pre-established set of filters. We control them that way.
Right. And what about the network itself? How did you plan for increased traffic? Or was your school ready for it?
Referendum money paid for the complete overhaul. It was really expensive, but now we have Wi-Fi hotspots in every classroom.
My district applied for federal E-rate funding. Great for rural Minnesota.
I'm not familiar with that. Maybe on a future podcast we can cover how to get funding, especially since money is obviously an important issue for everyone.
The biggest discussion our team has is teacher training. Many teachers have no idea how to use technology and now are expected to integrate it into their daily lesson plans. Without guidance, many teachers default to simply having students type instead of write.
So true. We've all heard the story of the class that gets iPads and they end up collecting dust.
Don't forget about academic games and drill and press.
You're doing good, you guys.
Look what I
We're
started.
not.
One little screw up and then we just went downhill.
We did.
But I looked at the clock. Fine. Okay.
All right.
Let's
I'm
go back.
hitting
We're going to start
reset.
over again from that same spot. Okay. Tell me when I'm going.
Hold on. I gotta find our spot.
We have a tech team.
I went too far. Thank you. Okay, I'm there. All right. Ready? 3,
Go.
2, 1.
We have a tech team with one teacher from each grade level. It's interesting to see how some of the younger teachers are pushing back more than the older ones like me. Teacher buy-in is definitely a hurdle.
Well, being the average teacher age of 42.4 myself, I could see that.
Well, I'm 45 and I'm in. So what else is on your list?
Logistics are big. What do you do if a student shows up with a dead Chromebook? How do you handle a student who's off task and surfing the web?
Right. How do you track which users are doing what on the internet?
We're a Google Apps for Ed school, so students have to log in to access their device. This links them to the internet through a pre-established set of filters. We control them that way.
Right. And what about the network itself? How did you plan for the increased traffic, or was your school ready for it?
Referendum money paid for a complete overhaul. It was really expensive, but now we have Wi-Fi hotspots in every classroom.
My district applied for federal E-rate funding. Great for rural Minnesota.
I'm not familiar with that. Maybe on a future podcast we can cover how to get funding, especially since money is obviously an issue for everyone.
The biggest discussion our team has is teacher training. Many teachers have no idea how to use the technology and are now expected to integrate it into their daily lessons. Without guidance, many teachers will default to simply having their students type their homework instead of writing it.
So true. We've all heard the story of the class that gets iPads and they end up collecting dust.
Well, or used for academic games or drill and practice websites. Without training on integration, we're really just modernizing typing.
I suppose the golden rule would be to remember why you're adding one-to-one devices in the first place.
Definitely. The goal is to enhance learning and increase 21st century skills. Many districts jump at the chance to add technology but fail to provide professional development. Teachers who are not tech savvy struggle with the added burden of a classroom full of Chromebooks. They won't know how to integrate them into their lessons effectively. The fallback is having students create slideshows to present research. While Bloom's taxonomy does place create at the top level, are we really just creating digital scrapbookers?
Right. So how do we get them there?
Training, training, and more training. Wow, we've covered a lot of information today. We should revisit these topics on a future segment.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining our weekly podcast. The future is here. See you next week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm stopping the